Now we're YouTubing.
Are we YouTubing?
We're YouTubing on the Valley Watch out there. How you doing out there?
Are we Facebooking?
And we're Facebooking live right out there. So.
Hey, we are. I see us on YouTube, but I'm not getting. I'm not getting any indication on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Oh, now we're on Facebook.
We're on. Hey, we're getting better.
I don't know. I got to. I'm talking on my phone again. There we go.
There you go.
Just do that again. All right. So I guess we're.
There we go. We're looking good.
It's June the 20th.
June the 20th in the year of our Lord 2017 in Columbus, Georgia. And sorry, we're Eric and I get a little bit closer together for that.
Yeah, for YouTube. My camera's a little narrow on
that.
YouTube.
Hopefully, we're getting a lot better sound out there for everybody. We're not quite to the amateur level yet.
No,
we're sub amateurs, but we're up to sub amateur.
I think we're just a little bit above 2 cans and a string.
There you go. Hey, Miss Pat, how are you? She's over there.
I am well, thank you very much. Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you what. We're on mine right now.
What is that? Your Robert De Niro voice?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
On that.
Well, I got to apologize to everybody. We're about 10, 15 minutes behind the time, but I'm just going to explain this like this. Have you ever had a day where you planned out the entire day and you knew the timeline. You knew from this hour to this hour you'd be doing this or you'd be doing this. In fact, your day started somewhere around 5 o'clock this morning because that's just
Eric. You're talking about like a typical day for me.
Yeah. So you wake up and then somebody calls you out of the blue when you're in the middle of the day and they throw a monkey wrench right into the whole timeline, and then just after that everything is chaos. So I want to apologize to everybody on maybe Highway 80 and going through Columbus and zipping around Aflac, a little while ago because I was trying to get something to somebody that needed it desperately, and then get over here to the studios and stuff. And the stoplights all got together and said, "It ain't happening, buddy." So we're running a little late today, and I apologize about that. But anyway, it is the 20th. It's a Tuesday. I guess I want to start by the first thing I want to talk about, Dr. Joe, was the fact that I don't know if it's these videos are reaching out and people are seeing these videos or what, but it just seems like we're now jumped over the 14,000 mark, which we documented a week or two ago.
Woohoo!
And people are just coming by the 10s, the 15s, a day, and I think it's being shared. So I just wanted to say, you folks out there are doing a great job of sharing the page by word of mouth or whatever, or telling your friends about it, and people are finding it. Again, I ask you to take into consideration that it really doesn't help us here locally when you add the people in California or Alaska or in Guam or something like that. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, really being on the page, but, I'm looking to build it up here locally, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a forum here, a network here locally. So try and add those family members in the general Valley area. You can go. We've got people in LaGrange. We've got people in West Point. We've got people in Opelika, Lynette, Valley, Auburn, down around Tuskegee. We've even got people in Tallahassee coming back this way, Highway 80, Crawford, Salem, Crawford.
Nankipo, Georgia. Nankipo.
I've never been there.
That's it. That's an actual place here in Missouri County. Midland, Columbus, uptown, downtown, all around town. Hey, you know what? And let's start with a little bit of sarcasm. I think we actually had last night in the Chattahoochee Valley, we just had a bunch of gunshots fired. Apparently, no one actually got shot.
Well, I thought that was a nightly occurrence.
Well, the shooting is a nightly occurrence on that. We just actually had, I think, a rare event. There was actually nobody actually shot.
I think John McMullen's probably a little upset over there at Shooters because, he wants people to come over and pay for range time and stuff. And folks, if you're just out there shooting in the street in Columbus, John's not getting any money. Okay, so
by the way, check out Shooters.
Yeah,
on Milton Road. John McMullen.
Well, I mean, they're an institution. John got out of the military. For a lot of people that don't know, okay, he was an Army shooter. Okay, and got out and helped create that business and start it and get it and build it into what it is today, which is pretty much a Columbus institution as far as a place to go for ammunition and guns and a place to shoot and stuff like that. I mean, it is. It's pretty much this institution, and I'm glad that it was a success. But you know, people.
Another great one, Money Miser, my old pal, also called Northside Pawn Shop, Robbie Whitten up on Manchester Expressway and in Phoenix City.
Yeah, you got to give Mr. Tim over there in Phoenix City.
Mr. Phoenix City. Yeah,
Tim over there.
D.L. Moore at Express Pawn, great people that have been doing. We're very fortunate with that. One thing I just want to kind of point out that a little mission thing that Eric. By the way, hey, you know we need to do Mr. Pattens. Is the phone's on? Make sure we're good. We are.
There it is.
And Miss Pat, I'm going to actually take out the little book so I make sure I get these.
It's 706-940-0541.
You know, I had a guy. I'm not going to embarrass him, but he's a major radio personality and a little bit. He does a little bit of TV in the area and stuff. And he said what we need to do is we need to get one of these little placards or something and put it on big letters and either put it right up in front of the screen or back here against the wall or something and have the telephone number up there constantly so that we don't have to keep thinking about saying it.
I don't know.
I'll go ahead and put it on right now.
She's going to put it on right. I kind of like the way Miss Pat says it. You're at 706.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's one of those. On that, but getting back just a second is, you know, one thing that Eric and I wanted to, you know, kind of share is that also this program we have credentials with the Secretary of State's office. We are a legitimate social media journalists, and this is a real show, and we have credentials, and we're hoping to make this an outlet for the Chattahoochee Valley, so we can bring, how can I say it, you know, what Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story, and maybe ask questions. Because you know what, I don't know about you, Eric, but you know what, I'm always bothered by, you know, I should say I'm never bothered by anybody who wants to ask a question. You know, I mean, I have no problem with that. You know, and
nobody should be bothered with people asking questions. And that's a thing in our area that just drives me insane. And people, you tell me if this hits home with you. Okay, it doesn't matter who brings you the story or how you hear about it. Okay, if it's a credible story and it's got truth to it, you know, and there's facts to it, and you hear about it. Okay, and let's say it makes the big media in the area, the two big news stations, or I'll say the three major news stations in our area.
Hey, excuse me a second. Dee Dee, you said we're breaking up a little bit. Is that on Is that on YouTube or on Facebook? Let us know because I'm listening here. You keep talking. I'm
okay.
Checking sound.
You know, I was checking out a show the other day that you guys were doing on Ranger Joe's, and it was kind of breaking up. There was kind of some feedback or something. I wonder if that's what she's thinking. I wonder if it's all these microphones close together, or, you know, or maybe are we talking too loud, Dee Dee? Just blasting, or anyway? I mean, can you understand us?
It sounded good now. I did hear it, Dee Dee. I think it's good now. Dee Dee, is it good now?
We got that delay.
Let me pull that down a little bit.
But the thing that drives me crazy is you'll hear about the story, and it'll initially get reported, and then if it's like a political story or has some maybe type of judicial overtones, in other words, legal type stuff,
you can hear how we're sounding right now.
And you never hear anything. It's never reported on again. You never hear about anything about it, and it just sort of dies.
How does that sound, Eric?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
That sounds pretty good.
So, of course, that's on delay, right?
It is on
delay. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is I would like to see the local media get tougher in asking questions and not giving everybody a free pass. Some of these news conferences aren't news conferences. They're basically lectured to as to what happened in something, and then they're sent off to write their story. No, I want to hear some hard questions asked. I want to hear, and I don't want to. well, we'd like to ask you this question, and well, no, we're not going to talk about it. Okay, that's fine with us. Nobody cares. No, people do care. We want to hear some hard-hitting reporting, and if people aren't cooperating with you, and they're not, I mean, we've got instances right now where it's been 2 or 3 weeks over in Alabama, and the state of Alabama is investigating a supposedly, police shooting, and there's been absolutely no word from anybody, from the police chief, from the mayor, from the city council, from anybody, and the media is not, media is just okay. Well, we'll just sort of wait until they give us a phone call and they want us to know something. Well, the people ought to be asking. The people ought to be showing up, and that's another thing. There's just not enough community involvement, whether you're talking about school board type stuff, school involvement with the school boards. People are just letting stuff go. And they're either saying, oh, well, I just don't have the time to get involved, or it's not my business, and I'm going to get on something else here in a minute that's made the news here that I think needs to be talked about. It's more of a public service type thing. But what I'm saying, people, is your voice counts, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that you can't ask questions. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't pick up the phone and call your local state representative or state senators and stuff. You can call Washington, D.C. and demand. You can call the mayors up in individual communities and stuff and ask them what is going on with this. And don't get put off with some little answer that oh, don't worry about this. It's not your pay grade. Watch your lane. Shuffle off the buffalo and let the big people worry about this. No, there's too much stuff going on. And there's too many folks starting now saying we're tired of this and we're going to ask the hard questions. And if you go back and you look here locally in Columbus, the citizens got together and said, we're not going to allow somebody to hire an outside agency at $6 million a year, and we want something to say about it. And guess what? It was voted down. Now we're talking about other stuff. But I want to see it on both sides of the river. I want to see people get involved in their community, get involved in the politics, and stop just doing the status quo of letting things go. Demand answers, demand people be held accountable for their actions, okay? And let's get to the bottom of some of this stuff that's going on, Let's, and along those lines, okay, we just had it reported here in the last, 48 hours. Over in the Alabama area, about the story about the young little man that was strapped into a car seat and stuck into a closet, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into all the what ifs, okay, and I'm certainly not going to say the little man strapped himself into a car seat and then shoved himself into a closet and closed the door on himself, okay? I don't believe that for a second. Where am I going with this, okay? Folks, if you got kids, you got grandkids, you need to check places out. You need to show up unexpectedly. You need to ask questions. And if something is screwed up, you need to demand accountability and answers and not be shuffled off to Buffalo and told, oh, it'll be okay. This is just something that happens every now and then. I'm telling you right now, that family over in Smith's area, Lee County, I congratulate you for showing the utmost restraint in the way you have dealt with this. Because had you taken my little son, if my son was 22, 24 months.
Thank you, Dana, and welcome.
And you would have put him in a car seat and strapped him in and stuffed him in a dark closet and closed the door on him, and I came to get him, let me tell you, they'd be writing about it for years to come. There'd be court cases going on for years to come.
I have a measurement, an actual measurement, a metric measurement that I think would explain that for me.
Okay.
9 millimeter.
There'd be a whole lot of measurements going on, like having to do with the size of my foot and where I could put it.
Yeah, that's
and that would be the minimum.
Welcome, welcome, Zach. Thank you, Dana. We're much better. She said much better on our sound quality right now.
Okay.
And
well, look.
That fixed. Welcome to Zach, who just joined.
Yeah. What am I saying here? Because people always say I say something and I don't it's not clear what I'm saying. Okay. Is there two sides to every story? Okay. Well, you know what? The other side ain't talking. I haven't heard one peep from the other side of this story as to why a baby would be stuck in a car seat and then stuffed into a dark closet. Okay? I can't think of any reason. I can't think of disciplinary reason.
There is no reason for that.
So
there is no justifiable, irrational, bad, good. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm telling you, it's just that's it. That is horrific. Horrific.
So when I say that I would say 90% of the people are upset about this and then they have nothing nice to say, there is nothing nice to say. Okay?
Hello, Joshua.
That little man may have nightmares for the rest of his life for being stuffed in a dark closet. And he may have been just forced into having some form of claustrophobia or something, or being fear of dark places or something now. I don't know. But there's nothing that he did as a child that he deserved to be basically locked into a seat, strapped into a seat and stuffed in. That daycare, I don't know exactly where it's located. I know that Lee County is doing a good job of investigating, and DHR. Let me tell you something. The community is looking, and I think to this point are happy with what is transpired. But that family, or whatever you want to call it, should never be allowed to watch children again. I don't care if the Lord Jesus comes down and says, I'm taking away their sins. I don't care. There's not enough love in my heart. You do that to one child, it can happen to another child. It should never happen again.
There are two things also. It might be Jose. I'm not sure if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm sorry. But Josue. I'm not sure, or that's her. I'm sorry. My eyes are getting bad. Please forgive me about that. I'm sorry. And Zach says no. Zach says their explanation was that the baby did not want to take a nap. Well, you know, I mean, if that was their explanation, somebody should hit him with a baseball bat right between the face.
Well, you know what? I think children get into a routine, and I know that there's been times where as my kids got older, they didn't want to take naps anymore because their energy level was up. When they were
That's
little,
what the mom said.
When they were little, they took naps regularly every day, you know, and they went to sleep, you know, and then they were active and stuff. And I can remember, hey, going all the way back to when I was a kid, back in the Stone Age, you know, we took naps in school. In school, we took naps. We had these little mats that came out in kindergarten, and I think we still took naps in the first grade. I'm not sure. But, you know, hey, that was my favorite time of the day, you know. It was like after lunch sometime or something. The lights went down, they closed the blinds, and we took a nap. And, boy, I wish that was on my schedule, you know, now every day, but it's not. Anyway.
Let's back to that phone number again.
So
706-940-0541.
And I'll tell you what, again, today, I have once again, matter of fact, I brought two of them. I have, for our first couple callers, I have a couple of credit card knives. Eric, you might want to.
Credit card knives.
Yeah, these are pretty cool.
I bet the TSA loves you.
Yeah, they do. I'm on their little list.
Well, look, while you're just getting those credit card knives out, which are kind of neat, they are kind of neat for an emergency situation. I don't suggest, I do know that somebody that we know, or somebody we have heard of in the area, has actually gotten through one airport, reportedly, allegedly, went through the Atlanta airport with one of these in his wallet.
And we're in no way endorsing that.
And yes, don't do that. And then got to another airport and basically got caught and got it confiscated. So anyway.
Dana just urged in and said, thank you, sir. You said it right. Easy way. Jose. Yes, my friend there. By the way, if we have any friends out there that are Hispanic, I'm going to just say, I'm going to show you the limit of my Spanish here, but say hello. Yo hablo español un poquito, yo aprendo español en la escuela, 3 años, en universidad, 2 años.
Dana, if you're listening, I'm getting to that. Getting to what
another credit line.
Yeah, we're gonna. Why don't you open one of those up and show them how it works? So Dana wants to hear about this other thing I want to talk about, and I think it's important.
Yes,
so we had
incident today.
Well, I think it was yesterday.
This morning. That's what Dana said.
No, it wasn't this morning. It was because we were talking about it yesterday on the launch page. Young man, well, I'm going to say he's a young man. I don't actually know him, and I'm not going to say his name, but was traveling down, I believe, Buena Vista Road on his way to work or on his way to somewhere early yesterday morning, I believe it was. Or it could have been even the day before. I'm not totally sure on that. And he observed one or two young children kind of upset, at least one upset on Buena Vista Road, who seemed to be crying and stuff. And now this is where it gets kind of foggy. I'm not sure if he is the one that stopped to aid this young man who obviously was in some type of distress, or if he observed a lady stopping to help this young man. But this was on Buena Vista in Columbus. And apparently, allegedly, this young man had gotten, or these two young men had gotten out of a daycare, a local daycare in the area of Buena Vista. I'm not going to bust out with the name. It's on the watch page if anybody wants to go there and look that up. But apparently somewhere in this mix, and I've had disagreements with close family relatives about this as to what should have gone down or could have happened or could have, would have, should have. There's a lot of people with opinions on this, but what supposedly happened is an employee from the daycare came down and secured the two children and said, they're in our care, or they're from our daycare or something, we'll take charge of them. And whoever made contact, that stopped and made contact, I guess allowed this person to take the children back to the daycare. Now there's some controversy as to whether the police were involved, or if I believe the police were called, and then there was something about no missing children from this daycare reported, no police report. I don't know all the little details. There's no way I could. I'm not directly responsible. And then as the coulda, woulda, shoulda, I feel in my heart that if you stopped and you saw these children on the side of the road and they were in distress, you call the police. I would kind of tend to want to keep those children there.
Call somebody.
Well, yeah, the police were called. So I kind of feel that personally, I would try and keep those children there until the police got there and figured out who was right, who was wrong. Other people I've had conversations with this morning said, well, from a legal standpoint, maybe you didn't have the right to keep them there, that the daycare worker legally had the right to take them back to the daycare. I'm not Perry Mason, okay, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. But if the daycare couldn't keep them in the daycare the first time around, I kind of question as to whether you want to turn them back over to the daycare personnel that lost them. So that's why I say maybe they should have been kept right there. One lady I saw, it was a very good post, said the cell phone should have come out and video should have commenced right there so we could document who these kids were, who the worker was, what was going on. But you got to, this was like 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and whoever was involved was probably trying to get to work or get somewhere where they needed to be, and they were just kind of there. It just happened, and it probably wasn't rehearsed, and they were just going through and doing it as it came at them, and they did the best they can. And I think the fact that we're talking about it now, that these kids were taken back to the daycare, and certainly, I guess the thing in everybody's mind is, do the parents know that these kids were running up and down Buena Vista Road for a period of time unsupervised? I don't know how young they were. I suspect that they were pretty young. So this is two stories about daycare, and what is Eric's message that I'm leaving you with? Check these daycares out before you leave your kids with these people. Look for recommendations. Check with the Better Business Bureau. Do some online. Talk to parents in the area. Ask and see if they've got a good reputation. Show up unexpectedly at times that you don't normally, like 8 o'clock in the morning or something other than 8 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the evening when pickup time and everybody's on their toes. Show up at that weird time on your day off or something. If the dad out at Fort Benning or something, you got a day off. Show up at 11:30. Show up at 1:30. Show up at quarter to 3 and just kind of ease on in there and see what's going on. You may never catch them doing anything, but let me tell you, I've got 2 young men, and they've been in some different daycares here in the area, and there's been some mistakes made in the past, and believe me, I've been critical of those mistakes and basically telling people, look, if you don't have a background in security, if you don't know how to keep accountability of personnel, if you can't keep up with people, I can give you a class on that, all right? Look, I did it for 20 years, okay? How many of you military guys out there know what stand to and stand down is, okay? That's just stuff I did for 20 years. I know I can keep accountability of personnel. I know I can keep accountability of equipment,
Dana says, wouldn't have let them take them until a parent got there.
Dana, the problem with that is you're out there on the street and, most of us aren't lawyers and stuff, and morally, ethically, I'm a parent, it all comes down to how much of a stand do you want to make? Right then on that second, the lady that stopped supposedly, I just wonder what was going through her mind. Did she have the time to get into a big, long, drawn-out situation? Of course, somebody I know named Lori said, well, by God, I don't care if I was on the late to work or whatever, I would have stayed there and I would have followed those kids back to daycare and I would have chewed the directors butt out. Well, okay. And she also brought up another interesting point. What if it was a private daycare that's like run out of a home? I mean, you really can't charge up into somebody's home and demand answers. And that was a good point. Whether it's a commercial daycare, I guess you can go in and ask questions. But this is what I want to leave. This is the message I want to leave. Don't take it for granted because you drop your kids off with some smiling people in the morning that nothing bad can't happen to them. We only get one go around with our kids, and all it takes is one major screw up, or not even a major screw up. It just takes a little bit of lack of accountability or a little bit of falling asleep at the wheel, and one of our kids can be gone. And I can't think of anything worse in the world for me personally, or anybody, as far as I'm concerned, for anybody else, that you have to go to the funeral of one of your kids over something that could have been prevented. Now, I'm not saying there's nobody that can guarantee anybody's safety. I can go out here and step off a curb and get hit by a bus an hour from now. A meteor can come out of the sky, or some frozen poop can fall off a plane or something, and crack me in the skull. And, I'm probably some people like, yeah. But it ain't going to happen. My message is, you have got, just like if you had kids, I was down at the Riverwalk yesterday with the kids down at the splash pad at Woodruff Park, and we had the splash pad going, and you got the whitewater rafters, and they're building the new zip line, over there coming from Phoenix City. You've got the zip line that already was going to Phoenix City. And all those people were complaining, and they're like, my God, you sent us to Phoenix City. How are we going to get back? We got to get out of Phoenix City. So they had to build, a zip line coming back to Columbus, okay, so that people could get it, wouldn't get stuck in Phoenix City.
I see Danny says there's many cops that ride up and down that road, run down that road that heavy. Where are they when you need them? Good question.
Sometimes, and I said this in a conversation this morning, sometimes things happen in a way where things just, it's like pickup sticks. You drop the sticks and they just fall a certain way. Sometimes stuff just falls between the cracks, Hindsight is 20/20. Look at all these, we talk about everything on the news and stuff, had I been the Secretary of State, Ambassador Stevens would still be alive. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. If I'd been the ambassador instead of Hillary Clinton, the military would have been all over Benghazi. Okay? But I'm just saying, hindsight 20/20, Monday morning quarterbacking and stuff. People say, well, you're a Monday morning quarterback and stuff. Well, you know what? I wasn't there. So I didn't get to make the call on the scene or something. I didn't get to make the call. But had I been there, this is pretty much how I felt from my gut. This is what I would have had. And I'm telling you about this kid in Buena Vista Road in Columbus. Had I been there, I'd have been telling that daycare worker, ho, ho, ho. I think the best thing to do is we're going to wait for the police to get here, okay, because something ain't right. Whether I would have got in a knockdown drag out with her, I don't know. I think I have to lean towards my friend that I had the conversation with this morning, that I would have probably gone back to daycare and insisted to be a butt about seeing the director and waiting for, and made sure police came. And here's another thing that I always hear people ask and they talk about. They say, well, the police didn't do a report. I never got a report. Did you ask for a report? Did you demand a report? Did you demand some type of documentation that you called the police and something happened? Okay? If you tell the cops or you tell the dispatcher, I don't want to meet with the police, then you run the risk of not having anything wrote up, you know, other than the initial call going out to the dispatcher or whatever.
Eric, let me chime in on that. Something that our
you just go chime in?
Chime.
I was thinking you're more of a ding-dong.
More of a ding-dong kind of way, on that might be interesting. Is, you know, you hear a lot about what we see it here all the time about the Freedom of Information Act. Let me let you know something out there, everybody. Every single law enforcement agency, federal, state, local, police department, sheriff's office, all those, you can go to those departments. You don't have to write them. You can actually go to them, and they have a form there. It's a one-sheet form, which they're required by law, by federal law to have, and it's the Freedom of Information Act form. You fill out that form while you stand there, and it will ask you, you know, what are you wanting to see? And if it's a case file that's closed, now if it's an open investigation, they can't do that. They do some of it. But a closed case file, statistics, numbers of people that work there, how much you're being paid, anything, because it's a public organization, and you fill that out and give them to them, they're required to write then and there, and if they can't get it that minute, I think they have like 48 hours to give you that information. A lot of people think, oh, Freedom of Information Act, I got to get an attorney and file a lawsuit and all that kind of stuff. No, you can walk down to the Columbus Police Department right now and say, yes, I'd like a Freedom of Information Act form, and they'll give you a form, you fill it out, you say, I'd like the Stocking Strangler case. Now, you may have to pay for copies, and there's a law about how much copies can cost. It's got to be reasonable, like, 10 cents a piece or something like that. So, I mean, if it's a Stocking Strangler file that's got, 3,000 pages, you'd have to pay, $300 on that in copy costs, but they have to give it to you.
So the media, does the media have to do that, or they get it for free?
They have to pay for the cost too of the copy.
So I'm just like so if
most of them give you a few sheets.
If I heard a story about, say, a law enforcement official taking his patrol car out of the state of Alabama and driving up to like LaGrange or somewhere, going up to either like a strip club or a bar or something. Is that something I could go in and find out about?
Well, if there's a report on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is where people say like, hey, there was those young people, whatever you call them, the red wine boy that was shot there in Phoenix City, and there's an ongoing investigation on that. You can go. Yeah. Now, the investigation on the Alabama side was closed.
No, I'm not talking about a shooting. I'm talking about like supposedly taking your patrol car and driving to a bar in the state of Georgia.
That's called a letter of inquiry. You can write a letter of inquiry.
I find it hard to believe that the taxpayers of the state of Alabama.
Pat, are we breaking up? Are you listening?
The taxpayers in the state of Alabama have to pay for a patrol car to have a deputy drive up to LaGrange to go to a bar. I mean, I can understand maybe if it was a bar in the state of Alabama, but the taxpayers having to pay for somebody to go to LaGrange in a patrol car. I mean, that just seems like that a little bit of misappropriation. But my point is, you never heard nothing about it. So if anybody knows about that, I'd love to hear all the details about driving from the state of Alabama over to Georgia and going to bars and patrol cars, because something about that just doesn't quite seem right.
It doesn't sound right.
Sounds like a little misappropriation of equipment to me, kind of like, you know, if I was in the military, you know, and I drove a Humvee off of Fort Benning or something and took it home and used it for the weekend or something. But I don't know. You know, that's just me. I don't know.
That would be kind of like I'll give a theoretical example here. I'm being sarcastic. That would be like a state representative that was driving a state-funded vehicle and stopped at a porno store or an adult film store.
Oh, a sex shop.
Yeah, sex shop like that. That'd be probably a good example.
I think I heard about something about that too. You know, but you know, I don't think we ever heard anything more about that. You know, other than nothing.
Eric says,
stop questioning. You know, stop talking about it.
Zach says, pee him later when you can that he has some information on that.
Okay. Okay. So there must be something to it. I'm just not pulling that out of my fourth point of contact. There must have been something to this deputy driving from Alabama up to LaGrange. You know, so you know, just wonder why there was never a press conference telling the people about what was going on. You know. It's just very strange. We have all these press conferences over in Alabama, but we didn't have one about this. So anyway,
that is strange.
Yeah, I guess that's just not the kind of thing you want to talk about.
Let's get that phone number again. 706-904-0541.
Yes.
940-0541. Hey, first caller, I've got two of these. I've got a credit card knife here. Look at that thing. Thin.
Yeah, somebody call up and get these things out of here before I cut myself. I cut myself about.
And I've also got a Back Columbus Blue T-shirt for the boy on that. So these things are pretty cool. $5 value on that.
All right, Joe. I need about 30 seconds here because I promised and I've forgotten every week. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, a good ranger buddy of mine, we'll just call him Jeff. Jeff the Ranger from over in Lee County took me to a place downtown. I want to say that it's on the corner of 12th Street and 1st Avenue, a place called Steamy's. I think I got that. Steamy's, and it's like a 50s sandwich hot hamburger place, and let me tell you, got some good food in there. And as long as we're downtown, and after you eat at Steamy's, you want to go down to Broad Street, down next to where the State Farm office is, and there's a new place called that. It's called Kilwin's. Kilwin's, I think it's right. Kilwin's Confectionery. In other words, it's a candy store, buddy. And let me tell you, they got some sweets down there, and they also have ice cream and stuff. But it's kind of I hadn't heard about it. And they said they've been open for 6 months. So I told them, they gave me some fudge the other day. I had some fudge brought to me. And let me tell you, it was so sweet. That fudge was so sweet, it made my teeth hurt.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of some great places, right down the road, 5820 Moon, or that's the ministry, 7042 Moon Road, 7042 Moon Road. That's catty corner right to North Highland, perpendicular to North Highland, the Son of God. There's a little CVS, and on the far side is Willie Good Pizza and More, and open 11 to 9 every day except Sunday. And I'll tell you what, if we get a caller on that, 706-904-0541. Did we put that phone number up?
What was that number again?
706.
What are you going to give them?
On that. I'll tell you what, first call on that, I'll give you 50% off on a large pizza.
Okay, hang on, I gotta go check on something.
Half price. I'll tell you what, matter of fact, I'll give you a large pizza.
Now that's a deal.
16-inch pizza, any way you want it. For 706-940-0541.
All right.
And that supports, of course, the ministry. Also, next door to us, Cook's Hot Dogs. Roy Cook over there, Sunshine Cook, great. The 50s, kind of a mantra on that.
He's kind of an institution. Right,
definitely.
Old Baker High School mafia, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we want to thank one of our enablers, which is Ranger Joe's Military Police and Supply here in Columbus, Georgia.
Ranger Joe's, I've heard of that.
Yeah, have I heard of that? Yeah.
Somebody named Paul Voorhees. Paul
Voorhees. Up at 53 years. 53 years been the best.
I think I've gotten a haircut or two down that way.
Absolutely.
In my time. Hey, one more place before we get on to the next subject is.
I like the current crime report here.
Flat. Oh, that ought to be. Is it from the mayor?
No, this is from the Ledger Inquirer.
Okay, it might be factual then. Out in Smith Station, there's a new gun shop that's been open for a little bit, and it's called Flat Iron Arms, and that's being run by a veteran of the United States Army out there and his wife. So if you are looking for some deals or something. Now, granted, they are just getting off the ground and starting, and they're a small business out there, small business owner. They're They're not on a scale with shooters or anything like that, or some of the pawn shops, but they do have deals from time to time, and you might find what you're looking for. They do consignment sales out there. They have all kinds of little knives and shooting accessories and stuff. So just if you're out in the Smiths area and riding around, just pop in there. You know, you never know. You might find exactly what you're looking for. But I was in there a couple weeks ago looking for something for a shooter that was looking for some magazines for something. And it might be a place you want to go talk to if you have some guns or something and you need somebody to sell some guns in the area for you. It might be the place you stop in and they can sell them on consignment for you. So that's right on Mullins Road as you turn off of, you come out of Phoenix City and you're on, I guess it turns into Lee Road 430, and then you turn off on, hold me to this, Lee Road 246, which is most people, it's on the same road as Terry's Grocery, but it's before you get to Terry's Grocery. So anyway.
We got a caller coming in, 706-940-0541.
You're not getting my pizza. I mean, did I say that? Anyway. So we're gonna see what this caller has to say.
Sorry, Dana, we have a couple little
better now, so please give the number again. Okay.
It's had a couple of little interference on that. We're doing good though.
Yeah. Miss Pat, they're gonna.
Would you like to go on?
Yeah, that's one thing I want to tell everybody when they call in to this call-in number. You're going to be talking to Miss Pat. We're not going to put you right on the air unless you want to. Unless you want to. We don't put you on the air unless you want to. Does she want to go on the air? On that?
Or could be a he.
Or it could be he. Okay. All right. Now that's just somebody that got a pizza?
I guess I'm not having pizza for dinner after all. But anyway.
Okay.
So I guess they are going on the air.
Speaker?
Who we got, Miss Pat?
All right. Hello.
This is Danny.
Danny,
are you there? And put the microphone up.
Oh, Danny boy. Danny, you there?
I know you're going to have to hang the phone up and have it on speaker.
That's going to hang up on.
All right, let's see. Do you see the red speaker thing right there? Is it still on? Danny, are you there? Danny, call us right back. Did it hang up, Pat?
No, it's acting like it's on hold.
Okay, now put it on speaker. Put your speaker. We're trying here. Give us a second.
Can you hear?
There we go.
There it is.
Danny, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Okay. All right, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was trying to go on Facebook and watch this thing.
All right, well, welcome to the, are you calling for your pizza?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for you. Hey, you're going to like that. That's a really good pizza, More. It's 7042 Moon Road. Miss Pat will tell you how you can get that. And you can have it any way you want. It's good, the real stuff. It's the good stuff. And I guarantee you it's going to be a pizza you're going to enjoy.
I can barely hear you.
There you go. Is that better?
No, I think it's because
Miss Pat.
he's not here. Are we talking through our speakers, or are we talking through that speaker over there now?
Yeah, we're talking to that speaker. Miss Pat, you can relay that. Tell him that he's going to enjoy that pizza.
They wanted to let you know that you will enjoy that pizza.
So, hey, are you enjoying the show?
Okay, what do I do? Just give them my name?
I'm sorry? Pat, you're going to have to use a little coordination out here. When he talks, you got to put it up to him. When you talk, put it up to you. So, all right.
Dr. Joe, take it easy. That woman is
put it up to your mouth and say, Danny, did you enjoy the show?
Danny, did you enjoy the show?
Are you still with us, Danny?
No, he's gone.
Okay.
Oh, Danny's gone.
You might be mad.
Danny, we're having a little technical difficulty.
Okay.
See, when we go to the telephone, we have a speaker on that side.
Yeah, we're on. There you go. Okay, just push speaker, honey. Just push speaker.
Danny, is that you?
Yeah, we got disconnected.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Can you hear us okay now?
I can hear you okay now.
Okay, we're working hard. We finally got our YouTube up, and we're amateurs, but we're doing better here. I just want to know, are you enjoying the show?
Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you so much.
Is this the first time you've tuned into it, or have you listened to it before?
I've looked at before the page and all that, but
that's good. We sure appreciate it. So, hey, what's your big concern in Columbus right now? Or in the Chattahoochee Valley? Do you think the mayor of Columbus, the mayor of Phoenix City, says that we don't have crime in Chattahoochee Valley?
What was the question?
I said the mayor of Columbus and the mayor of Phoenix City says that we don't have a crime problem in the Chattahoochee Valley.
A crime problem?
Yeah, crime problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a crime problem.
I think there's a big one. I think there's a big one. I think they need to work on that a lot harder.
And I think that there's a lot of opportunity for criminals whenever they get like a call somewhere, a small call, and 20 or 30 units show up over there.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. It seems like sometimes on the small calls, like you said, there's 20 units, and on the big ones, there's 2 on that. But
Right.
we appreciate it. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
All right.
Well, listen. Well, thank you for calling in. We got a couple more callers, but enjoy a pizza, Miss Pat. You can talk to him.
Okay, what do I do? Just give them my number?
Hang on 1 second. I'm going to fix
Stay
you
on
on
the
hold.
line, and Miss Pat's going to talk to you.
So,
and David, we've got your shirt for you. We're holding your shirt for you. Thanks for coming on.
yeah,
And,
David's got a shirt, and there's a lady that's got a shirt too.
Dana said somebody turned the camera. Somebody turned the camera. No,
I turned it back.
Oh, you turned it back. Sorry, Dana. We're still. Miss Pat, can you move the camera a little bit more this way too? Because you got just a fraction of me, and you got a big thing over here at him. On this, on here. See, on YouTube, we're right here together.
We got her doing too much over there.
And then
Knock
also
the camera off.
And
It's
on that.
So, all right, we're gonna transition here. Going to transition over to what we were talking about some of the crime and stuff, and it's like nightly now. It seems like that the Circle K's, and this has been a running joke with me, is everybody's heard me say that the Circle K's, the corporation is going to change the name, and they're changing the names to Stop and Rob.
Yeah, that's
Because it's like every night, and there was the ladies last night talking about, oh, pray for me, I'm working the 12 to 6 p.m. shift, and
Well, let's check here. Just last night, the latest news from Columbus on Cleveland Electric Inquirer, latest news as of 1 hour ago. Columbus, woman reports rape at Columbus apartment near First Avenue.
no problem.
I wonder if that was the door that was kicked in. First Avenue?
First Avenue, yeah.
700 block or something like that?
It says Legends manager says, quote, little altercation in club had nothing to do with shooting. No, they were just shooting on that.
Did he, what time did, I wonder what, I'll have to check with Stacy about the shooting. Must have been like after midnight or something.
Opelika police trying to identify 2 suspects in Walmart theft.
Yeah.
Police are searching for a man who shot and pistol whipped a man at the Circle K robbery. Isn't that funny? We just said that.
Yeah. And then there was a Shell station hit the other day where they, I guess the guy either smashed his way in or smashed his way out. I think he was armed. But I'm telling you what, these...
There's a horrible one 1 hour ago. Child molestation reported near Reese Road.
Yeah, I think...
Columbus police investigating armed robbery at Buena Vista Road gas station. Officer collapsed while supervising prisoners. Some likely unheard stepped in. Woman charged with cruelty to children. 3 Phoenix City daycare workers arrested on the child endangerment charge. We talked about that already. On that, let's see. We've got also, the usual plethora of shootings that shots fired, I guess you call it. That are going on.
That's almost like a daily occurrence now.
Yeah, I'm going to look at that right now.
So anyway, it's no joke. It's like I'm seriously reaching out. I'm looking for somebody right now, and maybe Joe knows somebody. But I'm looking for a T-shirt maker and stuff because I really want to make some T-shirts that have some slogans about this crime stuff. I'm not going to give out some of this stuff, but this thing is something about maybe Circle K, a.k.a. also known as Stop and Rob. That might be a T-shirt that I'm working on. Or pray for me, I work at Stop and Rob. Stop and Rob, stopping out on Circle K. They ought to be paying combat pay to some of these poor people that work at night. And I told the lady last night. I mean, I was just joking with her and stuff. I said, look, you need to put up a big sign out there. You know, free donuts, midnight to 6 a.m. You know, and get some of those guys in blue to come by and keep her company for a while. You know, hopefully she won't get robbed. I know when I was in law enforcement working in, over in Alabama, the patrons at night were very nice to us. You know, there was one. I think it was a Circle K. I could be wrong, but I think it was a Circle K over off of Wire Road in Shug, Jordan. That about 4 o'clock in the morning, the Krispy Kreme guy would come in and he'd be like, "How many of these you want?" You know, and I was like, "Shoot, you're just giving them away? Oh yeah, these are day-old donuts. We're getting rid of them and stuff."
Thank you, Stacy Mahoney Dudley. Of course, is also just last night. A little quick rundown. This last night. Eagle Trace Apartment security guard working chased the guy down. Had to chase the guy down and tase him. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think somebody said that might have been a police officer or a deputy sheriff working overtime.
Auto theft last night on Buena Vista Road. Let's see, black Charger, female inside refusing to exit vehicle.
That's
on that.
A couple days old.
On that, well, I got this 10 hours ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, armed robbery, 11 p.m. at Buena Vista Road, at Summit gas station.
The black Charger, it sounded like from the details of that it was pulled over for some reason or a traffic stop. And
8 hours ago, home invasion, 700 block of First Avenue.
I think that was the door that was kicked in.
Yep, door kicked in.
But the lady in the Charger was upset because the police officer asked her to step out when he smelled the aroma of marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
And she felt that he was harassing her.
Fort Benning Road, Circle K, armed robbery. Shots fired, 600 block of 49th Street. That was Sunday. Far Road burglary, Family Dollar. That was yesterday. Assault, Columbus, Georgia. Candy Place Apartments. What a shock. Let's see. Oh, I can't say that one. On that.
So let's a quick reminder here to some of the people in the area. If you have to stop at some of these gas stations or stuff, you know, after dark and early in the morning, or you're 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and you're on the way to work or shift work or something, and you have to stop for the gas, you know, ladies, or I don't guess too many gentlemen carry a purse, but you know, your purses should be out of sight, not left up on the seat. You know, you get out of the car, lock the car doors, keep your keys in your hand. Credit card, just take the credit card out that you need to have, and then be aware of your surroundings and stuff. If you see some people hanging out and they just kind of be watching you, like, you know, they're waiting for you to not pay attention to them anymore. If you see cars that are kind of slowly driving around the parking lot coming towards you and stuff, you need to be aware of all that stuff. You know, you want to try and get gas and stuff at the gas stations that are, you know, very busy or whatever. But sometimes, you know, it's that time of the day or that time of the night where you might be the only one there. But you just got to be aware of your surroundings, because all it takes is a couple seconds. You know, you leave the keys in ignition or something, or you leave the keys in the car. Somebody can jump in the passenger side. Somebody could just. We've heard examples of somebody coming up and asking you a stupid question to distract you, and then somebody jumps in your car, or they walk up and ask you a stupid question. They try and, you know, snatch the keys away from you or whatever. For the ladies that get out with the big purses and stuff, and you're digging in your purse, they're looking for that. You know, they'll come up and, you know, try and snatch that purse away from you. We're not living in the world we lived in, you know, like 20 years ago or 25 years ago, or some of us lived in when we were growing up, where, you know, you can leave your doors and your windows open, and you can leave your cars open, and you can leave stuff in your cars and stuff, because there's been a rash. Joe brought it up on one of the things he said, but over on Pierce Road, there's been a rash of people going through cars in the driveways and stuff, in the parking lots, in the big apartment complexes over there off of River Chase and stuff. People are getting in the security gates and stuff, or going around them somehow, and they're going through your cars and looking for stuff. Everything from loose change to wallets to guns.
I'm going to bring up something, Eric. June 20th, we got about 10 days left here. On the 1st of July, it will now be legal in quite a few places. We're now having campus carry for on our college and university campuses. I'm a big supporter of that Second Amendment on that. What do you think about that? And give us a call, 706-940-0541.
Have they figured out where you can carry on campus and where you can't?
Yeah, they have some very specific guidelines on it. They're not going to allow it in the student housing areas, which is where I think you should be able to carry it, because that's where people get mugged and raped and shot at and stuff like that. But fraternities, sororities, they're not allowed to have it, and I think they're not allowed to have it.
So that begs the question: if you have it or you're allowed to carry it, where do you keep it?
Well, they said you can carry it if you have a CCW, you can carry it concealed, or you have to have. Yeah, so that's the same.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you're carrying concealed, and you want to go study at your dorm, or you want to go to bed for the night, or whatever. You want to go take a nap. You just said you can't take the gun into the dorm, so where do you keep it?
That is an interesting point.
So what do you leave it in your car and then it gets stolen?
Well, I think that they're bringing it in, a car would not be that. Car in storage is an extension of your home.
No, I'm not saying it's illegal, but a lot of guns are stolen out of cars every day. You leave a gun in a car, it's not secure. And I don't know how many military guys are out there listening right now, but I cannot, for the life of me, if I can't see my car and I'm only getting out of my car for a couple seconds, I can't leave a gun in a car. I can't. It just gives me a feeling of being unsecure and that I'm going to lose it. And after 20 years of either having a weapon tied to my body or within arm's reach, the military guys know what I'm talking about. That I cannot leave a rifle or a pistol unsecured. I just can't do it.
By the way, this is not a paid endorsement whatsoever. It's just something I saw on the show. We talk about shooters. They have an unbelievable sale going over there right now. I don't know if you're familiar.
Go ahead, Joe. I know you want to talk about your latest purchase.
No, not mine. They have the Taurus Millennium P111 9mm pistol for $199.
Giving it away.
Yeah, we're just giving away on that.
And they also have classes. They have several different
This
classes.
guy does classes.
Beginner classes. They have intermediate classes. So, they are trying to help people that want to, they want to learn how to shoot. And like Julia said, Eric here does that also. So, if you wanted
and he's fairly competent. I've
to
seen him shoot.
his information at the end of the show,
If he has a shot.
he will give you all the information that you need to get a hold of it.
Yeah, a lot. To be perfectly honest, a lot of people do not want to be out. I train outdoors. That's where we can set up some type of thing for indoors or something, but I like to be outdoors where you're not breathing all the fumes and stuff. But a lot of people this time of year, they do not want to be out in the heat and they don't want to sweat, especially the ladies. They don't want to sweat and shoot, and they don't like the bugs. And some of the ladies want bathroom facilities and stuff. And when we go out in the woods to train, we go out in the woods to train.
By the way, Eric, can I have my 30? And I promise to be my 30-second weekly rant. Just a second.
Sure, go ahead.
Here's my 30-second weekly rant. My rant for the week on that.
What are we ranting about?
What we're ranting about this week is exactly what we were just talking about. Is I'll tell you what. I don't know about you, but I am so sick and tired of the government telling law-abiding citizens all the things that we can't do, but telling us all the things that criminals can do. I hear that constantly about the criminals' rights, the death row inmates' rights to 30 years. Do you know that in the state of Georgia? I don't know about Alabama. In the state of Georgia, we have people that have been on death row since 1980. That's 37 years. And I keep hearing I constantly hear it. It's like I hear that all the time about, the criminal's rights. The criminal has this right. The criminal has right. I can't afford health care for my family. We pay it. It's more than our mortgage on our house. But you know what? You get thrown in jail and you get any health care you need. That's a literal thing. You can eat if you have leukemia, cancer, needed dialysis, transplant. They even do transgender things. Right. On that. All these criminals have these rights. we are law-abiding citizens. We're told what kind of gun we can't carry and how we can carry and where we can carry. But all these criminals, all we hear about is what all their rights, and then we're told all the things we can't do. Well, you know what? That's what I think about that, and that's about as adult as I can be about that. On that, I'm sick of that. And you know what? And I'll tell you what, everybody out there, politicians. I got 10 more seconds. Politicians, 2018 is a big election year. It's a gubernatorial for the governor of the state of Georgia, new mayor in Columbus, lots of city council positions, commissioners in a lot of the counties. So you politicians, you better be listening to what we're saying because we're going to come vote. We put Trump in. Yes, we did. Didn't think we were going to do that, didn't we? And we did.
Yeah.
Trump.
Well, let me along that same line. We just had the shooting in Northern Virginia of the political leaders at the baseball game.
Wait 1 second. Go Trump.
And now they're talking about there's a Alabama senator, I believe, who is saying that we need to change the laws so that politicians can carry guns around Washington D.C. wherever they need to go in the Capitol buildings and stuff. Okay, so here we go again with politicians thinking that they need laws to put them above the average citizen. You don't think the average citizen wants to be able to carry guns places, so they can protect themselves?
By the way, you might find this interesting because a lot of Americans out there don't know this. This is something that to show you President Trump's commitment to our Second Amendment rights. Do you know who Jay Sekulow is?
Jay Sekulow?
Jay Sekulow is an attorney, and he has been for about the past 20 years one of the biggest and most avid, well-known advocates and attorney for Second Amendment, for legal carry holders and people that have been unjustly had their weapons taken away and stuff like that. And he is he now is the senior counsel for the President of the United States. Jay Sekulow is. So we got an NRA Second Amendment guy in there in the office and stuff.
Well, I still say that over in Alabama, I don't know. I guess it died a quiet death. Like I'm saying, we always hear stuff. The permit, the concealed permit thing, was voted by the House over there in the state of Alabama that they felt that we should not have to pay for a concealed weapons permit, and it didn't get to the Senate. So again, if you feel like I feel that we shouldn't have to pay for permits, that if we're entitled to carry, if we can go to the state of Alabama as a resident and we can carry out in the open all day long, then we shouldn't have to pay for a permit because we get cold and we want to put on a coat, or I want to get in my car and drive to McDonald's. I shouldn't have to pay a sheriff a fee to do that, okay? And along those lines, I believe if my permit is good in the state of Alabama, it should be good in all other 49 states so that I don't have to jump through hoops. And it's called constitutional carry. If you're a gun owner, you need to get involved. You need to write your representatives in Washington, and you need to write your representatives down in Montgomery. And you need to start calling them up, and when you see them on the street here in Lee County or Russell County, or you see them in Phoenix City or something, you're like, hey Chris Blackshear, what's your position on this? Do you think like I do? Or are you siding with the small percentage of law enforcement professionals that don't want to lose the money? Okay? You should not be taxed for your constitutional rights. And I know there's people saying, well, there's no constitutional right to carry concealed. Okay, the Second Amendment says your right to bear arms. It doesn't specify how you bear them, okay, whether they be concealed or in the open. It doesn't say. It just says how you carry it. How you decide to carry it should be up to the individual, okay? That's all I'm going to say on that. Oh, I want to get back to one thing. We were talking about Pierce Road and the car break-ins and stuff.
Real quick, we have about 10 minutes left. Hey, 706-940-0541 for your complimentary credit card knife. You can see that where it's all put together. It's surgical steel. It's like a scalpel. As you see, I'm breaking it down now, and then it just fits right in your wallet.
Let me finish this thought real quick. On Pierce Road, there was a gentleman, I guess he had his car broken into, and they stole some of his credit cards. And if you go to the Phoenix City police page, you'll see some video of these two individuals, I guess going into Walmart or some big store. It looks kind of like Walmart to me. And I could be wrong. It might not be Walmart, but it's some large store. And I guess the credit cards were used there, and that's why you're looking at the video. But they're trying to identify these two people. So take a look at that video. It's on the video is on the watch page. It's also on the Phoenix City police page. We need to start pulling together. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you guys are doing an outstanding job of adding people to the page. You know, the same time next year, I think we'll probably have another 10,000 people easily on the page.
And this time next year, we're going to have 10,000 people watching the show.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We're going to have that on that. And also, just a little tidbit out there for self-defense and safety things. Ranger Joe's on Big Truck has a large selection of self-defense items, non-lethal and lethal, on that also. So if you're looking for non-lethal, I mean, and there's some people that, you know, that's what they're, and that's absolutely fine. You know, they have you know, the chemical sprays, and they have the batons and other things that are applicable on that. So you might want to check that out. We can drive.
Just a word on that: if whatever you're going to use, get some training. You know, like the batons. Okay, I know a woman that she knew a police officer, and she thought, well, he had a baton. Let me go buy a baton. So she lugged this baton around, but she never did 1 second's worth of training with it. You know, and anybody that's gone through certification, whether to use a baton or an ASP or something like that, you know that you've got to train on that, get certified on it, and learn how to swing it, and find out what like 2 minutes of swinging that thing is really like. You know, it'll win you. It's like 2 minutes of wrestling. So it doesn't matter whether you use a knife, spray, some type of, you know, a firearm or something. You need to train with it. You need to get some experience with it and know what can happen. Because I'm telling you, the craziest things can happen to you with a piece of equipment that if you don't train and you don't practice with it, things that you never expected. I'll tell you about it real quick. At the police academy, there was a guy that had put a Leatherman tool over next to his magazines in a Velcro pouch, a little Leatherman, you know, tool. And one night during a live fire training exercise, he took the Leatherman out and tried to shove that into a 45. And of course, you know, it didn't work out too well. But he eventually realized it and got to a magazine and finished the exercise. But what did he learn from that? You never put anything over next to your ammunition on your grab hand. In other words, the hand that's going to go for ammunition. Nothing is ever over there that could be mistaken for a magazine. Nothing that could be grabbed in the dark or something. And that's just one little tip that I learned, and I saw it happen.
Like if I reach into my pocket right now, I want to make sure that this is not something like a cone or something like that. Would that be correct? Hey, listen, I wanted to say I hope I might have made one small technical error. I know we're live on YouTube right now, and I think I was supposed to hit the record button also. So I don't know if this is going to be recorded on YouTube. I know it's live on YouTube right now, but we'll have to see.
Well, if it goes live, I think
it should be recorded it too. Okay,
yeah.
So there might be just a little bit of record, but everybody can see we're getting much better. But yeah, it looks good. It sounds good.
I guess we look pretty good on. Well, you know, actually, we look better on YouTube than we do on Facebook.
Yeah.
And to tell everybody, actually, in person, we look a whole lot better. Hey, real quick, so you're planning your weekend, okay? For people that don't know, Fort Benning is celebrating the 4th of July this weekend. There's going to be like a carnival. There's going to be rides, music. There's going to be stuff to do out there. At the MWR range out there, where the skeet range, the pistol range, and the rifle range, on the 24th in the afternoon, supposedly, SIG Arms, the big gun company, SIG Arms is coming, and there's supposed to be some free hands-on demonstrations. In other words, you get to, I don't know if you have to buy the ammo or whatever, but they're going to let you shoot their assault rifles and some of their pistols that they're bringing, and that's supposed to be free. I heard the word free, but I don't know if that includes the ammo. I plan on being out there. because I'm going to check out. I'm hoping that some of the new SIG pistols are out there because I want to check them out. And but you know, it's a weekend so that the soldiers can kind of celebrate out there at Fort Benning. Because come the 4th of July weekend, they're going to cut those guys loose to go visit family or friends or whatever they want to do, relax a little bit. So let's support Fort Benning. Let's support our veterans. Let's support our active duty people out there. And if you do go out there and you see those young soldiers in training and stuff, it's not too cheesy to go up and tell them that you appreciate what they do, because they get a kick out of that. It really makes them feel good. It makes them feel important. And they are important. Because let me tell you, if it wasn't for those 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old guys that are going in to serve our country, old guys like me would have to still be in uniform, and we've slowed down a great deal a bit, you know. So I appreciate those guys, and they're walking some of the same land, jumping out of the same towers, walking the same streets, going through the same training that I did, you know, back in 1981. So it's you know, we've passed the torch on to them, so we need to support them. And Joe is deep in thought over there with his code book. Trying to look up something on YouTube. So, Joe, how much time do we have left? What are we on time?
We have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
We have about 5 minutes. So
that's great.
We're doing good here, and I'm very happy.
Look, in the future, you know, people may want to talk about other stuff that we're actually talking about. You can always pick up the phone, or you can actually type in something and let us know. If there's something you want to talk about, you know, we don't have to control all the topics and stuff. I was in a conversation the other day, and somebody brought up politics and stuff over in the Phoenix City, Russell County area and stuff, and basically it was stated, and I'm going to throw this out there, but you know, 2018 is coming. It's not too early to think about running for public office, people. Okay? It's not too early to think about running for sheriff or city council or mayor or any of that kind of stuff. If you think you can do a better job than's being done right now, there is nothing wrong with you throwing your hat in the ring and running. Because some people think that we need some changes, you know. You see the same faces, the same tired old stories and stuff over and over and over. And maybe there's some young people out there that can get fired up and go run for office. Absolutely. And you say, well, what's up? You know, why do you say that? Well, you know, maybe some people need some wake-up calls and just find out, you know, and they need to realize that their elected office, they don't own it. It's not theirs, okay? They can be voted out of office real quick. If they're not living up to the promises they made, if they're not working hard, if you don't think that their heart is in it anymore, then let's get some new people in there, some fresh blood. And that just takes the common people getting out, okay? And just because somebody puts their face up on a billboard or buys all the billboards and stuff, that doesn't mean they're the best choice. That just means that somebody gave them a bunch of money to stick their faces up on billboards, okay? That doesn't mean all the people are behind them. Something to think about, people. This is 2017. The elections are coming up in 2018. I tell you what, if you don't feel people represent you, if you don't think that the people are listening to your voice, then make a change. Be vocal about it.
Change. That's it. Because you know, remember, you know, that's it. Is that the legislature and the lawmakers are the ones that make the law. I mean, literally in the state of Alabama or the state of Georgia, the states come by tomorrow and pass a law saying that their states have done this. Texas has done this now. Vermont's done this. That you don't need any permit of any kind to carry a gun. If you're 21 or 18 and you are not a convicted felon, you don't need a permit.
Well,
you have a second.
Like we said last week, I know Michigan, and I still can't remember the other state. It seemed like it was like North Carolina or something like that. But both the states. Both the houses recognize that people do not want to have to buy permits, and there are also a lot of politicians are starting to see the sense that it makes. That if you live in Montana and you get a permit, that permit ought to be good any other state in the union. Okay, we still got to have permits. If you know, but people in Alabama,
welcome back to that.
You know, people in Alabama, some politicians said, you know, we shouldn't have to buy a permit. The Constitution is your permit to carry. That's all you should have. As long as you're a law-abiding citizen, then that is your right to carry. You know, if you can go legally buy a gun, you're not a felon, you're not a violent criminal, then you should be able to carry a gun for sport shooting, target shooting, personal protection, whatever you need. You know, part of your job or whatever is carry a gun. If you're a security guard or whatever, if you're a private citizen. So get involved, people. Get involved in your community. Get involved in your schools. Get involved in the day-to-day workings of your community and your neighborhood. Let's change some stuff. Okay. One last little safety thing that came to mind is, for God's sake, I was down at the river. If you're going to be down either side of the river, and you're going to be down there fishing, or you're going to be stepping out into that water, or you're going to be out on those rocks, okay? It's been said 100 times. I'm going to say it one more time. Have some type of flotation gear. That river is not safe. When that water starts coming down from the dam, okay, even if you're an expert swimmer, you can hit your head, you can be pulled under, you can get jammed up under something, a log, a rock or something, and nobody's going to see you for days, okay, until they go looking for you. So don't have a couple drinks and then get out there on those rocks and get caught and be the talk of the town, all right? If you're going to be out there, have some, and your kids, you got to keep an eye on those kids down next to the river. Keep them with some type of flotation gear so that we don't have to lose one of them.
And if you want to also out there, if you'd like to send us an email about a concern that you have that you didn't want to talk about on the radio and you don't want to call us, you can email us at, this is all one word, thevalleywatch@gmail.com. Thevalleywatch@gmail.com. Yeah. And we will keep all answers and inquiries confidential. And or you can give us a call. We're getting ready. Miss Pat, we need to go ahead and get ready to shut down. And we want to thank everybody for Facebook land.
If you got an event,
or an event,
you got an event you want to come talk about,
give us a. You can.
Not going to cost you a thing to come on the show.
Email us at thevalleywatch@gmail.com. And if you'd like to fax us something, like you have a bulletin or a flyer or something going on, you can also fax us here. Our fax number is also 706-940-0542. That's 706-940-0542. The faxes. On that.
The volunteer fire departments over in Alabama are always looking for volunteers. Okay, it takes some training. It maybe take as much as 3 months before you're trained up and certified and stuff. They're not just going to let you ring the bell and drive the truck right off the bat. But if you're in Ladonia, Crawford, Fort Mitchell, Smith Station, you need to go see about volunteering and being a firefighter. So I think Miss Pat is going to sign us off out of here. It's another Tuesday. And we thank you for tuning in.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Thank you. God bless you. Be safe. God bless America. And Miss Pat, let us know when we're out.
We're out.
Okay, what?
There's someone at our door,
right
at
now?
our house.
Oh.
Shoot him.
A big black
man. Black man?
Maybe it's a representative from the...
Can I help you? Yeah, can I help you? Post office, can you just leave us there? Okay, go next door to the house to the left of you. If you the one there with a truck in it, and he'll sign for it. If you would. Thank you so much. It's to the left. It's to the left of where you are right now. No, not that yet. Yeah, that way. Yes. Yes, where the truck is.
Not that left. You go to the left. Who's this?
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute.
So yeah.
That's wonderful. I will pay you back. Thank you so much. I'm so dry.
Wait. Hush.
So did we actually go out over YouTube?
Wait, just
Oh,
one
okay.
second.
You drove over there.
Calvin's. Hey, Calvin, there's a post office guy. Can you sign for that? It's a letter for me. Yeah. He's coming to your door right now. And on that, and I'll call you back in just a minute. Make sure you got it. All right, thank you, brother. Post office. Suit by somebody. Honey, don't let him abuse my dog.
I think